is very satisfying, the impact that I feel like our songs have had, and that people carry them in their hearts, and there's something special about our music to individuals.
For us, it's always been about the journey. It's not really even about the destination. It's just about the journey. It's about the trip itself. You know, we've never had the map going, yeah, we got to get from A to B. It's just, where are we going to go? You know, where are we going to go? What are we going to do today? Where are we going to go today?
Hi, I'm Mike Beck, and this is Soul to Soul, a weekly look at the artists who make contemporary Christian music. This week, it is our very great pleasure to bring you our conversation with one of Christian music's true pioneering bands. The band is The Choir, and their first new project in 5 years has just been released, called Oh, How the Mighty Have Fallen. We'll talk with The Choir next on Soul to Soul.
Interviews, music, and ministry. You found Soul to Soul.
Hi, I'm Mike Beck, and this is Soul to Soul. Thanks for tuning in this week. There are some people who are best described as trailblazers, people who forge ahead into unknown territory, seeking to push back boundaries and expand knowledge. Many times it's a conscious decision on the part of the explorer, an altruistic desire to make the world a better place for us all. But there are a few who, by merely being themselves and marching to the beat of a different drummer, end up taking us to places we may have never ventured into on our own. Such is the case with our guest this week. In the early 1980s, this band simply wanted to make alternative Christian music that would have artistic integrity and appeal to a generation that was being underserved by the music of the day. More than 20 years later, The Choir is on a very short list as one of the most influential Christian bands of all time in any genre. In 2005, The Choir ended a 5-year silence as a band and came together to record what many are calling their most relaxed and powerful project ever. The album is called Oh, How the Mighty Have Fallen and continues to showcase the talents of Steve Hindalong, Derry Doherty, Tim Chandler, Dan Michaels, and the newest member of the band, Mark Bird, who also produced the project. Chris Coppernall recently spent some time with Steve and Derry to reflect on the past and find out what led The Choir back into the studio to create Oh, How the Mighty Have Fallen.
Such a fine time we share when we're together.
I've heard it said that The Choir may be the best and most influential band that people haven't heard of because you guys were such pioneers. You were performing alternative Christian rock before there was even a rock category at the Dove Awards, before there were other people even doing this. And then for people who don't know, each of the members have gone on to their own success. God of Wonders by Mark Bird, City on the Hill projects with Steve you produced, Grammy Award nomination, you've won a Dove Award. So you've received a lot of accolades for what you've done, but you really started at a time before anyone was doing this. What does success mean to the members of The Choir?
For us, we're just happy to be able to be playing music after all these years still, and to still be doing what we love to do. We've never really measured our success on, record sales or anything like that, just because, again, it is true, like you said, there wasn't really a lot of places for us to fit at that time. And so in the beginning, you get a little frustrated by that, but then, you realize that playing music is what you love to do, and it's a privilege, and if we can play, to our audience, then we'll keep doing it.
I heard somebody say that The Choir was like the Velvet Underground of Christian music. So I kind of try to spread that thing. Hopefully that catches, because I like that one, Right. And it feels successful too when people say that they're influenced by you. When Jars of Clay or whatever says that they're influenced. So that people have said that to us, and that feels pretty good.
We brandish plastic swords, more of a game than a war. Nobody's keeping score. When I swing left, you swing right. We hear the echo of hyenas laughing in the night. Laughing in the night. Such a fine time we share when we're together. It's a fine, fun thing to carry on and on. Such a good, great gift.
What was the climate of the Christian music world, if you will, back in, say, the mid-1980s? How friendly was it to you guys when you were asked by, say, a youth pastor to come perform at a church? How did their expectations sort of match up with what you guys were doing?
Well, to be honest, we had a hard time with living up to people's expectations. Darius never was not the kind of front man that really wanted to give the altar call or preach the sermon. His dad's a preacher, but I think he just is more of a not that type of guy, as much. And so there's always that expectation to really, the promoters in our case are like a youth pastor or something. So it's all really about the ministry and how many rededications do we have, how many kids got saved or whatever. And our thing was, I don't know, it didn't fit into that mold, and so we often felt like we a lot of times the promoters or whatever were disappointed in us,
But yet it's your faith that's being expressed in the music. Did you guys have a tough time kind of reconciling all that? Did you feel like they should be able to identify with the same experiences we're having? There should be some point of connection between what we've created and what the listeners are hearing.
Well, yeah, see, as time goes on and with all the response and the letters and we had a very loyal following, and we really realized that individuals got it, and we maybe filled a void, and so after a while you just you're not doing it for whoever's the radio interviewer or the youth pastor or the whoever has this expectation for you. It's our music is between us and our audience. It's very satisfying, the impact that I feel like our songs have had, and that people carry them in their hearts, and there's something special about our music to individuals, and so that has become enough, and that's been motivation enough.
If I could touch with my fumbling hands your scars, if I could know in my rebel mind your heart, if I could see with my lusting eyes your face, if I could taste on my withered tongue sweet grace, would I trust you near enough? Would I trust you near enough? Would I trust you near enough to die, enough to love? If I could hear with two muffled ears your voice, if I could find in my troubled life true joy, if I could feel with numb fingers your spirit, if I could drink for my barren soul your tears, would I trust you near enough? Would I trust you near enough? Would I trust you near enough to die, enough to die, enough to love? If I could touch with my trembling hands your scars, would I trust you near enough? Would
I had read somewhere that choir band member Dan Michaels had said that going into the recording of this new album, Oh How the Mighty Have Fallen, by the choir, the rule was that there were no rules and that you guys could just go in with a blank slate and create what you wanted. What was the atmosphere like when you recorded the album?
This was definitely the easiest record for me that I've done with the choir, and I think Steve would probably say the same thing. I mean, it was real relaxed, just because at this point in our career there are no expectations of anything. We just get to make a record, and we go in and make it. We talk about what we want to talk about, and make the music we want to make. And we don't have an A&R guy or record company saying, "Oh, we need a radio hit," or "We need a remix of this," or what. Dan Michaels tries to do that sometimes to us, and then we just get him out of the room. So.
Really, there's no commercial agenda whatsoever. I mean, there's no. We have no expectation that when people say, "Is your record out?" It's like, "Out?" That's kind of a strong word, It's just a painting. It's like, people that I liken it to a painting. People will take months and months working on a painting, and then it hangs in somebody's hallway or in the bathroom or whatever. And so it's an end in itself. And at this point, we don't make our living off the choir. I mean, the choir never paid. It never did, and we don't need it to now. We were fortunate to be able to stop and just do this. Hardly any budget at all. It didn't matter. And it's just as long as we're satisfied with it musically, that's the only objective.
I wanna swear it's true, but it's hard to defend it. I know it comes from you, and I don't comprehend it. Love never fails. Mercy will prevail. I wanna swear it's true, but it's hard to defend it. In the chill of a cruel world, in the nest of a wounded bird, in the shadow of doubt, in the smoke of a torch blown out. I wanna swear it's true, but it's hard to believe it. I know it comes from you, so I want to receive it. Divine love never fails. Mercy will prevail. I wanna swear that's true, but it's hard to believe it. In the thrust of a bayonet, in the hour of deep regret, in a world gone insane, in the eye of a hurricane. In the chill of a cruel world, in the nest of a wounded bird, in the shadow of doubt, in the smoke of a torch blown out, in the flight of a sharp stone, in the rubble where children moan, in our own apathy, in the blood, in the river at Calvary.
The Choir and Mercy Will Prevail from their new project, Oh How the Mighty Have Fallen. Coming up next, Steve Hindalong and Derry Doherty talk about having longtime friend Mark Bird produce the new project. All that and more great music from the new album is just ahead. That's next on Soul to Soul.
Hi, this is Chris Rice. Keep it right here for more Soul to Soul.
You're listening to Soul Radio.
Mike Beck here, and this is Soul to Soul. This week we're spending some time with Christian music pioneers, The Choir, on the occasion of the release of their first new project in 5 years, Oh, How the Mighty Have Fallen. To learn more about The Choir, a great resource is their website at thechoir.net. And just a reminder, don't forget to check out our website at s2sradio.com. There you can find out more about this week's artist. Check out radio listings for Soul to Soul in your area. You can even order your very own copy of today's interview. Just drop us a line and let us know what you think. You can always email us at friends@s2sradio.com. But for now, let's get back to Chris as he continues with Steve Hindalong and Derry Doherty of The Choir.
It's funny after so many years of popular music that having the music be unfiltered and pure is now the exception more than the rule. And it just sounds like when you get The Choir, you get just people creating for the pure joy of expressing the gifts that God gave them. What's the emotion like when you're doing this? Is it deeply satisfying? The ties between you guys that have been built over decades and the ability to do what you truly love. And what is that like? What's that feeling like?
I think a lot of the reason why this last record was so easy and so fun to do was because it was kind of, in a lot of ways, it was kind of a celebration of us. We're in the studio and we're looking around at each other and we're having fun, and Steve, even one of the songs, is Fine Fun Time, and it talks about just us being together all these years and still being able to do all this. And so yeah, emotionally it was a really fun, exciting thing to make, because you're just sitting in there and looking at each other and going, wow, man, we can still do this and play guitar, and Mark's here and we're all here and Tim's here, and we're having a great time.
There's still, for me, nothing more exciting than just a song coming alive, coming from nowhere. And I didn't walk into the room with any lyrical idea whatsoever. And Derry's playing the guitar, and Mark Bird is with us this time playing guitar, and it seems like anything those guys ever play to me instantly sounds like a song. Makes me feel things, and then Tim will be playing the bass, and I'm thinking, nobody gets a smooth ride, without any, it just comes because their music, these guys, to me, makes me feel things. And there's nothing that's so exciting, and we all love what each other does. We're kind of shooting for the same target. Musically, we like the same things, and if Derry likes it, I always like it, and we always, so it's so effortless. It's not like so often I'm in the studio working with another artist, and there's an agenda, and there's pressure from the label, and there's push and shove. Well, that's what's so peaceful about The Choir, is that there's just no push and shove. It just comes. And the song comes, and then I get to go out and play a drum track, and there's no tension, it's just nothing but support, and we all love what each other does, It's pretty great, after all these years.
When I can't hold on much longer, to a rope weathered and frayed, when I can't find hope and I'm losing faith, the Savior reaches in to still the howling wind, to calm the storm within, to rescue me, to rescue me. When I think I might surrender, to the vengeance of the tide, when I'm lost in sin and I don't see light. The Savior reaches low under the torrid flow to save my sinking soul and rescue me. The Savior calls my name when I feel most ashamed. He comes to take the blame and rescue me. To rescue me. To rescue me.
Steve, you've had such phenomenal success with the producing of the City on the Hill series, which is just a landmark in Christian music. But you turned over the production role to Mark Bird. How easy or how difficult was that for you to step away from the producer role and hand that over to Mark?
You know, it was great. Mark is just like a brother to us, you know. He's 10 years younger, and we wanted it to be cool, you know, and we respect his sensibility, you know, so much. Really, you know, I produced the Common Children records, and I've worked with him on, you know, I don't know how many records. It was good to have somebody in there so I could be the insecure, nervous guy, and he'd have to, you know, do what I do is calm him down, and like I've got to be the you know, I don't play the drums much anymore, you know. I mostly produce other guys playing the drums. So I'm nervous about it, you know, and just to have him, so I go, Mark, just don't let me overplay, you know. You know how I don't let other drummers overplay, you know. And then sure enough, when I get in there, I'm too busy and doing too many fills, and he's like, Steve, you know, just to have that counsel, like role reversal, it was actually kind of funny, you know. But it wasn't weird at all because, again, you know, we've worked together for so many years, and Mark just, you know, took the pressure off a little bit. It was great when they went to do guitars because, you know, I could stay out of it, and just like I got to put on the headphones and work on keyboards, I got to play a lot of the keyboards on the album, which I don't, you know, which is like fun, like a drummer, you know, getting to play a melodic instrument. I'm a real musician, you know, and not worry about the guitars, let Mark and Derry do that, you know, and it helped to bring harmony amongst us all. But so Mark is almost like, you know, he is pretty much part of the band. I mean, people don't realize that we've made so many records. Obviously, the choir, we haven't made a record for 5 years, but we've been in the studio nonstop, doing one thing after the other. And, you know, so much of the time, Mark's been a part of our world. So it really was no step at all, you know, to just say, hey, you be the producer. You know?
And also, too, you know, I just want to let people know that listen to the record too that Mark, it was great to have a guy that really, really cared about the music. And Mark, he had a real heart. He's always loved the band. It really meant something to him to be able to do it, you know, and he kind of guided us and kept us focused. And so, you know, it was a big role. It was a powerful role he played in the whole thing, and he deserves a lot of credit for it.
Like the snake who calls the lizard a reptile, like the chimp who calls the jester a clown. When I tell you, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, I've gotta set my knees on the ground. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, how the reckless
had read, Steve, that you described the album, the brand new choir album, Oh How the Mighty Have Fallen, as an album that has some pretty serious calamity to it, and it's about the harsh reality of life and living, but it's not that heavy. I mean, it's got sort of a thread of, I don't know, joy or peace about it that really comes through. And I guess it's because at times the album just seems comfortable with its own brokenness. Is that kind of what you guys get from it?
That's a great observation, Chris. I've never heard anyone put it that way, but there's definitely levity. At this point, we've all been through so much, and I think the theme is that nobody gets a smooth ride. There's some comedy in it, and I think there is peace in it. We've been through, everyone goes through a lot of stuff, but I think we're very much at peace with who we are and where we are, and I think it's a very peaceful album, and it's honest about brokenness, but I think there's a lot of grace. We have a lot of grace, one for the other, and it's an open book. The choir's always been an open book, with our struggle with relationships, and so many of the songs have been about, my struggle with my wife, and it's been rough for us, and we're still married, but we're open about that stuff, we're just flawed, broken, struggling people, and we still have faith, and Jesus is still who he is, and he did what he did, and he does what he does.
Nobody gets a smooth ride. 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 Every child will learn how the asphalt burns when he takes a sharp turn too wide. Nobody gets a smooth ride. I'm really sorry the way things are going these days. Try to be careful, that's all I can say. I'm really sorry the way things are going. Civilians needn't wear guns. Civilians needn't wear guns. Civilians needn't wear guns. Civilians needn't wear guns. Bullets rain on us, the hapless populace. Fools will shoot the sky just for fun. Civilians need not wear guns. I'm really sorry the way things are going these days. Try to be careful, that's all I can say. I'm really sorry the way things are going these days. Try to be careful, that's all I can say. I'm really sorry the way things are going. Nobody gets a smooth ride.
Nobody Gets a Smooth Ride, as presented by the choir on their new album, Oh How the Mighty Have Fallen. Still ahead, the choir's Steve Hindalong and Derry Doherty try to define what it is that the band has in common with its fans, and they'll share with us what, if any, goals remain for the choir. Stay with us as Soul to Soul continues.
Hi, this is Sarah Groves, and this is Soul to Soul.
We love Christian radio. This is Soul to Soul.
Soul to Soul is the program, and I'm Mike Beck. This week we're speaking with the choir's Steve Hindalong and Derry Doherty about the choir's latest effort, Oh How the Mighty Have Fallen. Let's get right back to the conversation as Chris continues with Steve and Derry.
If the question is calamity, the answer is grace. And we all experience it in life, but sometimes when it comes to music, we sort of go, let's just go for the the part about music that's the brightest, that will encourage us the most. But you guys go, that's important, but it's also important to maybe talk about some of these things, because it's not just you guys that go through the ups and downs of life, but it's all of us. Do you think that this album bravely takes on some of those things? Maybe not intentionally, but in spite of itself, touches on things that a lot of albums don't.
Well, I think that's what we've done all along, and I think we do get response from individuals, and the broken people and the hurting people courageously reach out in mail and whatever, now email and everything, and they know what we're talking about, and they open up, and they realize this is about me, and I think that's really important, to be honest, and different kind of bands that are just pretty much straight ahead ministry, whatever, that's important too, but I think our vulnerability, I think there's power in it, and so I think that's what we've tried to do pretty much all along.
Comes a time for tears in the dark. No need to fake it. Yesterday her eyes were shining stars. I know she'll make it. She's alright. She's alright now. Flying over mountains, coming through the clouds. She's alright, like an eagle in the wind. I know she's gonna make it through, 'cause she's got true blue friends. Even when the rain's falling hard, she will find cover. Even though she aches to the heart, she knows we love her. She's alright. She's alright now. Flying over mountains, coming through the clouds. She's alright, like an eagle in the wind. I know she's gonna make it through, 'cause she's got true blue friends. She's alright. She's alright now. Flying over mountains, coming through the clouds. She's alright, like an eagle in the wind. I know she's gonna make it. I know she's gonna make it. She's alright. She's alright now. Flying over mountains, coming through the clouds. She's alright, like an eagle in the wind. I know she's gonna make it through, 'cause she's got true blue friends. True blue friends.
There are different kinds of Christian artists. Some share the gospel directly, and some share their experience of living in the faith. What do the fans of the choir and you yourselves within the group who create the music have in common in your response to the gospel? What do you guys share in common with your fans that makes the music the connecting point for you?
I think as far as spiritually speaking, a really important realization I had years ago was a song called Merciful Eyes on the Circle Slide album, when I really realized that God wants us to not be afraid, God the loving Father, to not be afraid to look into His eyes wherever we are. I mean, it's so often people would say, I'm not walking in the light, I'm in a backslidden state or whatever, and they use that as an excuse, where I think God, the Lord Jesus, wants us to look to Him and reach for Him, even when we're not living right, even when we're lost, wandering in the darkness. He's not a God of retribution, and so I think that's one thing that we're open when we're struggling. We still talk about our faith and the reality of Jesus and who He is still exists. No matter what we do and how we feel and what's going on our lives, He still did die on the cross, and He still did rise again, and the Holy Spirit does dwell in our midst. I think that hopefully our audience really relates to that, and maybe they're encouraged to wherever they are to look up.
Chicago might be cold, how nice the way you folded everything so neatly. We'll talk when I get back, I wish I could retract things I said so indiscreetly. We give, we take, we build, we break, we stare at the moon and we sigh. We give, we take, for heaven's sake, I never wanna make you cry. I'll see you in and out, I'm bringing home some flowers, I just wanna be a blessing. And if you feel the need to give me something sweet, that's a motive I'm confessing. We give, we take, we build, we break, we stare at the moon and we sigh. We give, we take, for heaven's sake, I never wanna make you cry. I just wanna make your sky brighter, I just wanna make your heart lighter, I just wanna set your world on fire. That's a motive I'm confessing.
We interview a lot of artists that are just starting out on Soul to Soul, and they really want to be recognized for what they do. They want to connect with an audience with what they have to say. And sometimes we get a chance to talk to them album after album and see them change. There's a certain arc that goes to an artist's career and the art that they create. And you two have been making music for the choir and for other projects for 25 years, and that's really an amazing thing. Do you guys have goals after 25 years? Even if you've never really put them on paper, but just kind of like, I hope that it does this. I hope that my music does this for somebody, even if it's just for us in the band. Do you guys still kind of think those things?
To be honest, Chris, I don't think we think that way anymore. I don't think. I think it's just an offering, and you can't get caught up in it. I mean, the choir, it's not. That's one of the great things about it. It's not. We don't have any agenda. We don't have any expectation, and in a way, you could say people hear it and they think, you guys have got to do something with this. It should be on the radio. That song should be on Grey's Anatomy. That song would be perfect on there. Can't you guys get it on TV? Can't you get it on a film? And so for years and years, we had fallen short of success. And, we just had to let that go. It's not it's not something we have I don't have any aspirations for it at all. This album is an end in itself. I have no plans, and Derry has no plans of making another record. Maybe we will. We probably will. I mean, this is what we do. Derry has a studio, you know. Maybe if we feel like it, we'll record 10 more songs. But right now, no plans. You know, we played a couple of gigs this year, and they went really well, and it was fun. And now we're saying, hey, maybe we should go out and play Chicago. Maybe we should do 6 or 10 gigs, you know. And so I think we will, but I don't know for sure, you know. And it's an end in itself. It's like I said, it's a painting.
And also, too, I think one answer to that question would be, I think we are kind of where we want to be at this point. And for us, it's always been about the journey. It's not really even about the destination. It's just about the journey. It's about the trip itself, which I think is one reason why when you ask the question about listening to your own records, or whatever, it's always just been about doing what we're doing. And, you know, we've never had the map going, yeah, we got to get from A to B. It's just, where are we going to go? You know, where are we going to go? What are we going to do today? Where are we going to go today? And I think that's one of the great things about our faith. It kind of parallels our faith. It's not. It's the journey. It's living. It's the life. It's the passion. It's, you know, all of that is. And so I think we're kind of where we'd want to be.
No creature more lovely, no spirit more dear to me. And if I cannot hold you, I still wish you all the joy in the world. How dark is the universe? How cold is the rain on this earth? So long have I loved you, since I was a child and you were a girl. What a terrible mystery, how I search for the key to unlock your guarded heart and set your love free. What a beautiful dream. I've tried more than anything to unlock your heart and set your love free. A terrible mystery. It's alright, I'm moving on. Some days the pain is gone, no longer searching for the treasure in you I never could own. I smile when I see you now. This planet keeps turning around, and I don't cry anymore. Only once in a while, when I am alone. What a terrible mystery, how I search for the key to unlock your guarded heart and set your love free. What a beautiful dream. I tried more than anything to unlock your heart and set your love free. A terrible mystery, to unlock your heart and set your love free. A beautiful mystery. A terrible mystery.
The Choir and the song Terrible Mystery, which can be found on their new project, Oh, How the Mighty Have Fallen. Stay with us because The Choir will be right back with more when Soul to Soul continues.
Hi, this is Steve Hindalong,
And this is Derry Doherty of The Choir.
and you are listening to Soul to Soul.
how can listeners get a full and complete copy of the brand new album by the choir? First one in 5 years, Oh How the Mighty Have Fallen. How's that available?
That's available on our website, which is www.thechoir.net. And at some point it'll be in stores. We're not sure when or where, but it'll be there.
You've been listening to Soul to Soul, a close-up look at the artists who make contemporary Christian music. To find out more about Soul to Soul, visit our website at s2sradio.com. Soul to Soul is a production of Music Square West. Executive Director, Chris Coppernall. Soul to Soul is written, edited, and produced by Audiocom. Executive Producer, Mike Beck. Producer, Ryan Dietrich. Production Assistants, Troy Smith. Additional production elements, Ken Farley. Soul to Soul is hosted by Mike Beck and Chris Coppernall. Soul to Soul reminds you that Jesus Christ is Lord.
What to pray? Like a flower refusing to bloom in the sun, hides for a while. It's a cruel thing you're doing, depriving the world of your smile, when your heart defies you, when the dark mystifies you, when the stars shine down from above. How I hope their light is enough, and I hope you know you are loved. Like a flower refusing to bloom when the sun hides away. It's a cruel thing you're doing, depriving my soul of your smile today.